Hey, so you want to build a house? Why is that? Hey, so you want to build a house? Well, guess what? Did you know you can use an agent? And that most times it costs you nothing additional to have me on your side? Let's talk about that for a second. So, since 2008, home building has been underpacing the need for new inventory coming to the market. As such, and with the struggles we've seen following COVID, materials, building prices, they are at an all-time high. I don't say this to scare you, I say this to illustrate a point. Now, more than ever, you need to have a professional on your side. Because ultimately, especially being in a cold weather state where digging the foundation and starting the property can get delayed, you really cannot afford to miss out on doing it right the first time. But before I even get into the merits of what it looks like building a home and how that factors into someone like me, I need to address an elephant in the room that I've been trying to talk about for the 12 years of my career. There is a common misconception in all of real estate that if you just walk into a builder's rep office or go into the model and you work with them directly, you're gonna somehow get a better deal. Simply not the case. There are almost always incentives for the landscaping package or the cabinet and the kitchen upgrades or the finished basement that are there for you and that are a part of the program regardless. It's often sold and talked about under the idea that, oh, but if you just work with us directly, you'll get it. No, you get it anyway. See, the reality is almost all builders, at least the reputable ones, always hold aside a certain amount of money that is meant as a commission to compensate agents for their help. Now, I admit up front, it's better to have me and not need me than the reverse. A lot of the work a good agent is going to do is to set the tone with the builder and set the tone with the rep in the very beginning that, hey, you're not alone in this. There's a real estate professional who's going to be watching what you do like a hawk and monitoring your progress. And we negotiate where we're able to on price and terms and timing and what kind of layout and what kind of model you really want to build out. And once that's done, my role is very reduced. You'll spend more of the time going to the design center and working with the builder rep to really figure out your finishing touches. But I can't tell you how many times people have called me at the midnight hour of their transaction of their new build and say, Chris, can you help us? They're pulling the wool over eyes, or this didn't happen, or there's a timing delay. And this is, again, not to say that all builders do this, but by the time you need someone like myself, it's too late. Because the reality is, most of the margins for building are built into the relationships that the builder has. They oftentimes have a relationship with or own the title company. They have a relationship with or own the lender that they work with for the financing, and then they own the company that actually builds. So the reality is, even though margins are less, there's enough to go around. And I'd rather be able to protect you on the front end than tell you I wish I could on the back end. But aside from that elephant in the room, there are still so many fantastic options that are coming out. We see way more options and inventory available from more diversified builders now in 2021 than ever before. And all the more reason, even though the process may be fairly straightforward once you have the paperwork started, all the more reason we want to line up those other details. How do we schedule the sale of your home, if you have one to sell, with the timing of the contingency removals to be necessary for builds? For some of these timetables, they're as much as a year out. What if I told you that I have a program where we could buy your house, clear those contingencies, get you paid, rent it back to you for a year so that you're able to stay in your own home, not move twice, and be ready for that new build? The opportunities and the possibilities are endless. Let me know when you're ready to talk more about this. I'd love to share.